question for you, Bivol, is even though you say you were going to have the rematch with Dmitry on your next fight, two things about that. Do you think that at any point you'll reconsider that, maybe talk to Eddie about going through with the Triple G third fight anyway back to defend your titles at super middleweight? And also, do you think you would be back in September for that next fight, or would you want to maybe take a little bit of a longer break?
Yeah, we're going to go to see what's next, to talk about it, and we get,
So no commitment then that you will definitely fight Bivol next?
Eso es lo que quiero. Eso es lo que pasa por mi mente ahorita nada más. Pero iremos a casa y veremos qué es lo que viene después.
Those are the words of Canelo Alvarez as he now, in the press conference, as you can tell, this was as of 6 hours ago. I had to get some sleep. Now he is reconsidering the gung-ho reaction and the response of an immediate rematch of Dmitry Bivol. As you heard him say, he's calmer, he's more calmed down, he's less tuned up, the fight is over. So now the adrenaline is coming down here. And that's what happens. The adrenaline comes down, the swelling starts, you start to think more sensibly, more logically. And I see that Canelo is like, hey, we have to wait and see. But shout out to Dan Rayfield. He did ask some pretty good questions like, hey, are you going to defend the belts? Because those belts at 168 were not on the line. This was at 175. And mind you, a weight class that Canelo Alvarez on Hot Boxing with Mike said that these guys are too big for me. I don't know if I'm big enough. I think these guys may be too big for me. And I think now he's taking in consideration, he's pumping his brakes on the idea of going back into an immediate rematch with Dmitry Bivol. Because one thing about Bivol, I think Bivol was controlled. I think he was more cautious at the beginning of that fight. But I think as the fight went on, he opened up. And what do you think he'll do in a second fight? I think he'll be more comfortable. I think he will start faster because he knows what he's up against. He felt the power of Canelo Alvarez, a shorter, smaller guy moving up in weight. Don't get it twisted. He did feel the power, and that's another video I'm about to do on Dmitry Bivol, so stay tuned for that. But I think that he will be probably just as successful in the second fight. I think it's up to Canelo to raise to his level with punch output, okay, and accuracy, okay? And I think that Canelo now is really starting to really understand, like, yo, maybe I bit off something too big that I could chew. You know what I mean? Now I'm chewing and it's too big that I can't swallow it, okay? So I think now he's really starting to really think about, like, look, what do I really want to go back in there right now? Because this guy he's not going anywhere. He's still the champ. You know what I mean? He still works with Eddie and everything like that, and he has other obligations. So, Canelo Alvarez puts himself in the same position as like Kell Brook when he went up to 160 to fight Golovkin, being a 147-pound fighter. You know what I mean? And then having to come down to oblige his obligations at 147, whereas now Canelo Alvarez is the undisputed super middleweight champion, so he has to come down there and do what he needs to do, okay? So that's something definitely to think about. But also, I think the primary thought was, Bivol, do I want to do this with Bivol for shizzle? Right? So I don't really know. I think, Canelo Alvarez, did a little backpedaling, you know what I mean? He started thinking, but again, that came from thinking about that fight, thinking about that punch, thinking about that power, thinking about the whole aspect of a bigger guy that never wore down like other guys that have been worn down by the tactics and the punches and the feints and the defense of Canelo Alvarez. So it looks interesting, in Spanish, he did say, this is what I want, but we have to see. We have to see what happens, and I have to get with my team. And honestly, I think he should have said that before, and I think he just said that shit for the fans because the fans were there. It's Cinco de Mayo weekend, his weekend, Mexican holiday, things of that nature. And I think he said that to rev everybody up, to make them understand that, hey, I'm not only, I want the rematch, but I think I can win. So I want that right now, ASAP. But now you see in the press conference, things change just a bit. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Canelo Alvarez responding, having a change of mind to the idea of fighting Dmitry Bivol in the rematch. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.